Check under cars for bombs.
Oh, yeah.
That's what that is.
Oh, really?
Never go across the border, bruh. I'm Matty Matheson. It's an early morning here in Whitby, Ontario, and Vice has sent me on the Conservative campaign trail for one day. It costs a lot of money, and they finally paid it to get a journalist, correspondent, in on the inside. And I'm here in an industrial park at an emissions reductions facility to check out Stephen Harper talk about whatever he's going to talk about. I'm going on a plane with all the Conservative Party, and then I'm finally going to a massive Conservative rally in Saskatoon. It's not a party I'd regularly come to. I don't know why Vice would want to pick me, but you know what? I'm really good looking, and I can say whatever Patrick tells me from behind the camera. So we're going to check out the Conservative Party, see how these guys party. All the journalists on the media bus have been on there for weeks and weeks and weeks. It's the last stretch. These guys are tired. I'm brand new. Hopefully they like me. Hopefully I get some friends out of this. I got one day, I got about 24 hours with the Conservatives and the journalists. Mr. Harper, the big man, Big H, is coming down. Feeling very uncomfortable right now. Blue. Conservative,
it's a
bro.
good blue.
Conservative. So we're inside now, the factory, I guess like loading dock of this company. There's 1.3 million new jobs. There's a sign there that says that, so that's cool. There's Nickelback playing earlier. It was a really good vibe. So far, Conservative Party has really great taste in music. Nickelback is so lit.
We're gonna play Tupac in a minute.
Yeah. The room is full. We've kind of been pushed to the back over here. I'm kind of like a boiler. It's a good spot, you know, but we drew, every day they draw 4 questions, and I drew number 1. So I get to ask the Prime Minister of Canada 1 question today.
He's got the boom mic.
So I just like,
so yeah, you sort of get yourself up here. Yeah.
yeah,
He should see you too.
Yeah.
he should.
My friends, we live in a dangerous world. It's uncertain, and it threatens our economy, our prosperity, our jobs, and everything that depends on those things. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and welcome the Prime Minister of Canada, the Right Honourable Stephen Harper.
Our government recognizes Canada's auto industry as a crucial pillar of our economy. And our government has been partnering with the auto industry to ensure Canada's car makers continue to thrive and create jobs.
The Prime Minister will now take questions from the media. When I call your name, please come up to the microphone. Prime Minister to our left. We'll begin with Matty Matheson from Vice Media, please.
Hello, I'm Matty Matheson from Vice Media. Hi, Mr. Prime Minister. Hi. The number 1 issue our audience at Vice Media wants to know is about missing and murdered Aboriginal women. If re-elected, will you change your position on the UN's request for an inquiry?
Our government position on this has been very clear. We have moved forward with a whole series of criminal justice reforms to deal with the problems of violence against people generally, violence against women in particular. There have been some 40 studies of this particular issue. We are moving forward with a plan of action that deals with issues of prevention, investments in preventative services, particularly on reserves, that deals with issues of inquiry, of investigation. Most of these murders, sad as they are, in fact solved. And of course, dealing with the necessity of having appropriate penalties, appropriate prison sentences under the law for people who commit acts of violence. We are way past the time for further study. This is the time for action, and our government is going to proceed with our action plan on this issue. Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, sir, for being here. So what drew you to the Conservative direction?
You know, Conservatives believe in making people stronger.
Okay.
And the left is interested in making government stronger. I mean, as a minority, you know, we've always been told, you know, oh, we're the lowest, we're this, we're that. You know, I want somebody who gives everybody the power to fulfill their dreams. Like, you know, they say, oh, look, Justin Trudeau, he's gonna legalize marijuana. I mean, how is that helpful for someone like me? Yeah. I mean, like blacks in general, we have a drug problem in our race. You're not gonna come in here and say, oh, legalize this. That's just making it worse.
So there's some protesters over here. They seem kind of bummed on some TPP. Let's go see what they're doing. Hey, how are you, Matty?
Matty, very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So you guys are out here doing a little protest.
We're protesting.
So you guys are a
TPP,
union?
TPP?
Yep. Okay. I just know nothing about it. I'm a chef in Toronto.
Okay. A vehicle to be imported into North America, into Canada, has to have at least 60% of the value, 62.5% of the value of the vehicle manufactured in North America. Yesterday they made an agreement that would lower that to 45%.
That's a big change.
It's a huge change. So while he's in there touting
saying
they have done a great thing for the auto sector, it is a complete fabrication. It is outright false.
Yeah, you guys, the Conservative Party needs a hot tub. Some girls? The Conservative dudes, I feel, party harder than anybody. You guys are psychos. See this bus? That's gonna take me to the Plain campaign trail. Woo! Hit down my favorite city in all of Canada, Saskatoon. They got Salisbury steaks there. I don't know what else they got there. You know, with the Harper campaign and the Conservative Party, there's a lot of you can be on the bus, you can come and shoot, but you can't really get a lot of actual access or actual questions, right?
Right. Yeah.
What's your experience so far on the last 9 days?
You know, trying to get access to certain angles and locations and frame everything up in your frame.
Artistic.
So it looks artistic, and so it looks good and shows campaign is, you know, it's some days it's a battle. I mean, it's not like the other campaigns. I mean, I know he is our acting prime minister still, and there is security issues, and I get that. Like, I mean, you wouldn't have that access to Barack Obama.
No.
But this is a campaign, and you're trying to get reelected, so one would think that you'd get a little bit.
You'd want the inside.
You get some
want to
more
show the
access.
people.
Right, and you don't get that as much as the other parties, so it is what it is. And
do you think he's using the fact that he is the prime minister now as an advantage over the press?
You know what? I don't. He's been like this since day one, so.
Yeah. So a bit of his strategy is to keep everyone in the dark.
Well, you know, maybe it's working. They've won, you know, 2 elections, and they could go on their 3rd. So I'm not, you know, by no means am I, you know, a pro Harper's supporting what he does with the media and vetting us so we can't do our jobs properly. I mean, like I said, I get their security issues.
But once you're in, you're in.
But once you're in, you're in. They know who I am. I mean, I'm not trying to. You know, I don't want to go up and tackle him. I want to take his photo. You know what I mean? I don't think they get that.
I'm out here catching footballs with the Conservative Party, about to hop on a plane. What the fuck are these guys doing out here?
You're going to see tonight, your bags are waiting for you in your room usually. It's
politicians
cool.
Know how to travel during the campaign. I today got to actually ask the Prime Minister of Canada a question.
Yeah, you asked a great question, I thought.
No, for
it's
sure.
Substantive, it's something that people care about.
It was the #1 thing that Vice's audience wanted to know. Thanks for letting me ask the question. But we've had some correspondents in the past try to ask questions and they're not allowed to.
You know, every campaign, whether it's federal or provincial, and depending on the party, they all have slightly different ways that they run their campaigns, and that's sort of their prerogative. Yeah. But the end goal is the same for everybody. We're trying to talk to people, and we're trying to get our message out. You know, we decide who and where we, you know, how we take questions from the media, but the media decide what those questions are, and you know, did anyone tell you what question to ask? Anyone ask you what question you're asking?
No, I got to
do whatever you want.
I got to ask my question.
Yeah. There'll always be reporters or media outlets that will want to have more questions. That's just sort of
lots of questions.
That is an insatiable desire. It's like asking my kids when is enough candy enough. Like it's insatiable.
When they puke.
Yeah. Well, and even then.
Logan Vale just ran a story in response to what you asked, and Harper made the comment that most of these murders are solved.
Yeah.
Have you seen the story?
No, I haven't seen the story.
It just ran today.
Yeah,
it's real.
So this is like a cool thing. Your question, had another media outlet do a story on it. That's kind of cool.
I wanted to ask a question like that personally because I don't know too much about actual politics. I just know that there's women, Aboriginal women, getting murdered and they aren't getting solved, and they're continuously happening. And I know I've heard some horror, I won't go into detail about any, but like horror stories of these women and how it is kind of just like a pushed aside thing.
I don't, in fairness though, Matty, I don't think anybody with that issue is pushing it aside. I think there's a debate as to whether or not
I'm talking about the people of Canada. I'm not even talking about politicians.
Right.
I'm talking about people of Canada as a whole don't want to see their dirty laundry, and it's the biggest kind of thing in the face of Canada with all the jobs and the economy and all that kind of stuff are one thing.
But you said yourself, Matty, you surveyed your audience and said what's the most important thing to ask about, and that's what came back. So, not everybody in the country is going to agree on what the most important issue is every day.
Absolutely.
But obviously a lot of people, including a lot of people who follow you guys, are there. So, the tricky thing about government is you have to do both the big stuff and the little stuff, right?
This is very true. Yeah, don't leave that on. I've left it on a few times and said some weird shit. So we just got off the plane. It was about a 3.5-hour flight, and now we're on another bus, and we're going to an undisclosed place for the Conservative actual rally. There'll be about, I don't even know, a few hundred people will be at this one. Hopefully really loud Nickelback.
Hey, Chef, we gotta get this bus moved out of the way.
So we're out here in a lumber yard in Saskatoon. There seems to be a lot of protesters here saying, no more Harper.
So you have to make a choice at this point. Why? Shiv.
Because we need to sweep.
Well, no, they have a choice to make. If they don't come in for the sweep, they're not going.
Hey, if you're not, are you coming in for the sweep or no?
Missing women, exactly what we were asking about this morning, the missing Aboriginal women. This is where it's actually relevant, out here in the prairies. Isn't it interesting? Our Prime Minister behind the
Stephen Harper is racist! He doesn't care about First Nations lives!
I really feel that they took everyone right off the bus so no one could come and shoot here, and they keep threatening that we can't get into the event if we don't get it swept. So now we've interviewed a few people. Now we're going to go inside and get swept, but they're very urgent.
Doors closing.
What?
Doors closing.
Okay. What I saw outside was real. These are people that are affected. These are people that have lost their sisters, their mothers. It is fucking real. It's heartbreaking. They just want the government to care about them. That's all they're fucking asking. It's really crazy. Nobody stayed outside, but we stayed outside as long as we could until the door was closing. But these guys are paying to be on this, and they're not getting exactly what they're paying for. Once again, it's about control, it's about smoke and mirrors, it's about not shooting the protesters, it's about only covering the rally. There's two sides of this story, man.
Kind of tough to get in here tonight, wasn't it, to New Fab? But we're here. And I want you to thank New Fab for being a wonderful host tonight to our Conservative Party.
My friends, we live in dangerous and uncertain times that threaten our economy, our prosperity, our jobs, and the things that are most important to us, our families and the ones that we love. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise with me. Welcome the Prime Minister of Canada, the Right Honourable Stephen Harper.
How in the face of global uncertainty do you protect a fragile economy and keep it moving forward? Sound economic management, clear priorities, careful choices, a real plan. Let's work for 13 more days to see it through. Merci beaucoup. God bless all of you. God bless Canada.
The rally just finished. There's still protesters up here. We're gonna go talk to them. Can you tell us about why you guys are here? Tell us why you are protesting Stephen Harper, please.
Stephen Harper has gutted our water protections in this country, and all of our children are gonna need water. He's giving subsidies to oil companies that are wasting all kind of water in the north.
How do the young guys feel? How do you guys feel about this being a youth?
Living in the fucking city when you're an Aboriginal woman is completely different from when you're Caucasian. Yeah. Going outside's fucking scary. No one fucking cares if you go missing. They turn it around so that it's your fault. It's fucking horrible. It's scary. No one cares. It's a fucking horrible problem.
So they just let out all of the people from the rally, and now the protesters are going to tell them what they think.
What's up? I'm laughing at his mask.
I don't give a fuck. All you fucking white people are ruining us.
The white
people? Yeah, you guys are fucking foreigners. Yeah, go back to your fucking land.
My cookum lives up in
I don't care.
Our houses, our buildings, our lives depend on Mother Earth. If we don't protect her, then who will?
Your home's on native land! That's how the song really goes!
Pointless. You know, I don't know what they hope to achieve by that.
I don't see it as classy, that's for sure. If you're gonna make a point, at least make a good point.
Pretty bold to curse the Prime Minister in front of the police.
Yeah, I don't know. If you have some good things to say, maybe there's a better way of saying it.
On how many generations?
Fuck Harper.
The violation
That's
of
what.
international human rights by denying the future
You're
generations
a
what
fucking
they need
fuck.
to live.
Go downtown tonight. See what's going on in your own community.
I feel sorry for all the future generations if this sucker gets back in. We need to leave our kids with water, clean air. You can't feed your children money. You can't give your children killing spawns and oil to drink. Veterans! Did you not fight for freedom of speech?
Don't forget to vote for Harper.
We have now to use...
Move it along, buddy.
We're here at the Handy special events. Harper really picks the gems. We're either in lumber yards, industrial parks, or fun spots, always away from the downtown core and away from public transportation. So it's really difficult for protesters probably, or people that want to come and bombard these events. Smart on their behalf, but they're weird, very impersonal kind of event spaces.
Would you please welcome my husband, the Prime Minister of Canada, Stephen Harper.
Ladies and gentlemen, friends, les nouvelles internationales semblent nous rappeler presque tous les jours que nous vivons une période d'instabilité économique mondiale.
Matty Matheson, Vice Media.
Hey, Mr. Prime Minister. We met with Justin Trudeau earlier this week, who committed to eliminating all First Nations boil water advisories in 5 years if elected. Your government made a commitment to clean up the water crisis, but a study from the University of Saskatoon says conservative policies haven't made a difference. Will you commit to doing more to fix this problem?
Look, on issue after issue, whether it's housing or education or water, this government has made record investments in First Nations reserves to improve outcomes, including in those areas. Also including, by the way, fundamental reforms to make sure First Nations people have rights on reserve, have transparency in their government, and we will continue to make those investments going forward. And I would compare any day the record of this government to previous Liberal governments on that and other issues.
I'm sorry, I'm on the phone here with my desk. What did he say to your answer?
Nothing.
They've already put in a lot of money, basically.
Yeah, they put.
He
He didn't answer it, and then he made no commitment, and he didn't touch on timeline.
Did you hear that, Tina?
And he didn't.
Okay.
And he said that he would just put his against anybody else's.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, you've been in power. Like, he's been the boss for fucking 10 years.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, 20 years ago? It's a bit of a problem.
You said you don't like politics.
We out.
See if there's another story.
Friends, I, Matty Matheson, would like to offer my leadership and run for Prime Minister of Canada. Are you with me? I'd like for people to just be nice to each other, show some respect. All of Canada should have running water. If you get murdered, people should try to find out who did it. Simple things. Vote Matty Matheson, 2022.